Hello everyone, welcome to Winged Paper Crafting, and welcome to Fun Fold Friday. My name is Angel Fitch. If you're new around here, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you've decided to join me today. Today we're going to use our Fun Fold template that we made on Tuesday to make a thank you card, and we're going to go ahead and use our instructions that are written inside here in our template. So let's see, as we get started here, if I could ask you all to hit that like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and join us around here for the fun that we have. So we're going to start with a card base here that is Secret C, and this is 4 1/4 by 11, and I've scored it at 2.5, so 2.5, 3 3/4, 6 3/4, and 8 1/4. And when you go to fold this up, what you're going to want to do is you're going to go to the right and then back to the left and to the right and back to the left, and then you'll have your folds. And take a bone folder and give this a good burnish. And I like to take this one and turn it over and do both sides. That way we can make sure that it's going to lay as flat as possible. So let's see. Yep, that's right. Okay, I'm going to make sure I had it the right way. So let's see. Next thing we need is cardstock. So we've got Balmy Blue that I'm going to use for the cardstock. And let's see, this is our square piece that goes on the outside. So we've got another piece of Secret C here that's 4 by 4. So that's this cardstock here, our cardstock number 2. This is the biggest one that's on here, 3 1/4 by 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, which is the cardstock that then goes there. And then we've got some more of this Balmy Blue to put in each one of our sections here. So we've got, let's see, a piece that goes, not there, that one goes here. So that goes there. That's going to house our sentiment piece. Let's see, that goes here. Hang on a second. Let's see. Yeah, that goes there. This one's going to go, I think I've got this backwards here. I need to go this way, right here. So that goes there. I knew something wasn't right. Piece of pattern paper on that, and then another piece of cardstock here, and piece of pattern paper that goes there, and then our little one that goes right here. And then on the outside we're going to put our square. So we've got a piece of pattern paper that goes in our square there. And this is what we're going to stamp on here in just a minute. So we're going to stamp on that, we're going to stamp on this. So I'm going to set it to the side so we don't glue that down quite yet. So let's go ahead and start here. So this is the piece that is 2.5 by 4. So that's going to be our cardstock for this panel. And then that makes this 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. So we'll go ahead and put this, isn't that side beautiful? It's almost a shame to cover up those nice pretty flowers. So this is paper that came from the True Blue Florals pack. So the pack that was the product of the month for December. And I think this might be one of the last cards that we're going to do with this pack. Because next week we're going to move on to Valentine's Day. Because it's going to be here before you know it. Which is kind of scary, but true. So I'm just going to put each of these pieces of pattern paper onto our cardstock. And then I'm just centering them up the best I can. Look at this. I need to change the blade in my trimmer because it is leaving fuzzies here on the cardstock. Let me try to get that off of there. Because I don't like fuzzies. And sometimes you can just kind of brush those off with your scissors. Okay, so this piece is going to go here, and this piece is just going to go there, and that's going to house our sentiment. So let's put this down. So that goes here. centered up on that farthest right hand panel. And then this is the next one over. So that's going to go there. And when I go to lay these down, I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting them lined up at the top and the bottom so that it looks even across both of the panels. So we'll do that, and then we'll go ahead and put this down, and then we'll put the white piece on after we stamp on it. So we're just gonna center this just like that. Get that in there straight. And then our last little piece here, we will put right here. Okay, so that's the pieces that go on the inside. Now, let's do our stamping right quick. So, we're going to stamp in Secret... No. Are we? Yes. We're going to stamp in Secret C. And so, on the little triangle here, or diamond, I'll get my shapes right. On this little diamond here, which is really a square cut out that I'm just going to turn, we are going to stamp the thank you, the little thank you that was in this month's paper pumpkin kit. Because I needed something kind of tiny to go in here. So let me just ink this up. And I'm just going to line this up so that the points are on one of these lines on my glass mat, so I can start with it straight, in hopes that we can get this down as straight as possible. There we go. Looks pretty good. Now we're going to mount that on here. Oh, let's see. I guess it helps if I take the lid of the glue off. Okay, so we'll center that up on here. Kind of straighten that up. That looks pretty good. Okay, so that's going to go on the outside. Now, for the inside, we're going to use another stamp that was in this month's paper pumpkin call. It says, "The little things you do for me mean so much." So we'll ink this up. I'll line this up so it's straight. And we'll hopefully get this down straight. There we go. Okay, I'm going to put the ink away. And let's go ahead and finish this. So we're going to put this on the inside here. And we'll just center that up on that piece right there. You'll see in some of the examples, at least one that I'm going to show you here in a minute, I used white as my cardstock that was in here, and so I didn't mat the white twice on this. I just left it as one piece, but you'll see that here in a second. So let's go ahead and fold this over here. I'm going to give these all a good burnish again. This is one that doesn't lay very flat on its own. It will after a while, and it will once you get it in an envelope, but while you're working on it, it wants to keep popping up. So let's get our triangle together, or our square together that goes on the outside here. So a piece of this blue we will center up on top of our Secret C, like that, and then we'll get our pattern piece down, and we're almost done. Get this on the front and get some gems on it, and we will be good to go. It's not a hard card at all. It just has a lot of pieces to it when you go to cut, but other than that, it's not difficult. Now, when we go to set this down on here, we need to make sure that we're covering up this layer below it, because we don't want, this to be peeking out as you've got this down here. So you just need to make sure that you line this up with the edge on the right side here, or as close to the edge as possible. I just try to make sure that whatever I've used for cardstock down there is covered up. So I'm just going to kind of put my finger here so that I know where I need to keep the glue off of. So we're just going to keep glue to the left-hand side, because we don't want to glue our card shut. And just going to line this up again so that it's covering up that bottom layer of cardstock. And then we'll just push this down. Okay, looks good. And we'll put this in the middle. Now, we can glue it flat or we can pop it up on dimensionals. I think I'm going to glue this one flat. But you could put a dimensional under here. It's just, and I did on some of the examples, it's just such a thick card with all these layers that you have to be kind of careful with how thick you get it if you're going to mail it. Now, if you're hand delivering it, that's a whole different story. So, there's that. Now, let's get some dots on here. I've got Charming Shimmer Faceted Dots, and I'm going to use this blue. So, let's get our gems on here. Let's see. I think I'm going to use the little ones. And I'm going to kind of just put them in the center of a couple of these flowers. And let's see, maybe this one here. Scoot that over, and then one more we will put up there. There we go. It's just such a cute card. Makes a statement, even though it's so simple. Okay, so let's check out the other ones that I put together. So we've got our thank you card here. Like I said, they don't want to lay flat in the beginning, but some of these others I have been around a little longer, so they're laying flatter. So here's a card that I made. Now this is also out of the True Blue Floral paper pack. It just says, "Dear friend, the little things you do for me mean so much." So I really like this paper too. This was such a good paper pack with all these blues. And let's see, we've got this one. It says, "Just a note to say good friends are hard to find. I'm so glad we found each other." So this was out of that Serene Love paper pack that was from last year. So see, this one lays a little flatter. And then we've got this one that I just think is beautiful. This again is that Serene Love paper. It says hello. And it says, "Thank you for your constant friendship and listening ear." So I did do a little bit of decorating here on the inside of this one. I just used, this was the back side of this paper. So I had just this little piece left. So I just flipped it over and glued that down. And then I did some stamping inside of this one and this one as well. So you can decorate the insides, you know, however you want. You don't have to, but it just adds a little extra touch. So there are our cards that we made for today. So don't forget to, again, hit that like and subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. And I will be back with you tomorrow with another paper pumpkin for this month. So have a crafty evening. Bye.